G'day folks, the Maple Monkey here again with another live stream for you, and this time we've got the actual G.I. Joe Operation Cobra Gamefound page has launched, actually launched a little while ago, so it's up and running, and we're back to sort of like have a look at it, see where it's up to and what it's offering. And I just want to, just briefly at the start of the video, I have to make an apology because I did, I think in the last countdown video, I did say I'd be back. I didn't. I think I said I wasn't going to be back. As it initially launched, because it would be in the middle of the night, sort of thing. But I would sort of jump on that day and let you guys know what was happening and all that sort of stuff. And I've been MIA for a few days, and I have to apologize. Unfortunately, I wasn't ready for the the response. Let's say it was a response, certainly, to my videos being pretty much the only thing that was on the Gamefound page in terms of like coverage of it, sort of thing. So that was certainly a surprise. And again, I don't want to dwell on this at the beginning of the video because you guys are here to see what the game's all about and what it offers and that sort of thing. But I just have to apologise. I haven't jumped on because I sort of was a bit knocked about by that, and confidence got quite shaken, and haven't been in a great headspace. But back in action, decided to sort of brave the internet again, and so we're back. And big thanks to I think it was Aaron, sent us a message on one of my videos saying, "Hey, you're going to cover any more of this stuff?" And he sort of gave me the incentive. I was kind of sitting here trying to psych myself up to film a video. So thank you to Aaron for getting us getting us started. So here we are. So we are here live with the G.I. Joe Operation Cobra Gamefound page. The other thing I should probably mention as well, because we are covering a Gamefound campaign, it's a campaign people need to decide whether to invest their money and that sort of thing. And there has, I probably wouldn't be being truthful if I, wasn't saying that there's obviously within this campaign there's a lot of concern amongst folks about the fact that this is a new company, and they don't really know the people behind the company, behind OC Games, and that there wasn't a lot of content apart from my own stuff, which a lot of people found very lacking. There's a lot of concern around that. So do your own research, check it out. Decide for yourself, sort of thing as well. With any campaign sort of thing, make sure you go in with eyes open and that sort of thing. OC Games are putting together, they're sort of reaching out, trying to get some more content from professional content creators and that sort of thing. So hopefully that will sort of alleviate things with like an actual prototype that you can have a look at. So hopefully there'll be a bit more info for you there as well. And they have listed their names and things like that, so you can see who they are and what what they've done before. Although they do say that they are a new company as well, so there might not necessarily be that much that they've done before, but that's part and parcel, I guess, of sort of being a new company. So without any further ado, I do get accused of rambling. I will let's get started. So we'll have a look here. So the G.I. Joe Operation Cobra by OC Games, and you can see here we're sort of scrolling through. You probably, as I've been talking, you're seeing some different sort of expansions and things being shown there as well. But these are the core Joes, and these are pretty much the core bad guys, and that are in this campaign. We've got 10 days left. It looks like as of this moment as well. It was only, I think, a 13. I feel like it must have been maybe a 14-day campaign or something like that, because according to my thing, we're like 5 days in, and it's 10 days left. But I think it might be the difference there might just be because I'm sort of in Oz, sort of thing. So maybe it's a little different here. But I thought it was a 14 or 15-day campaign when it started. Looks like we've got the funding goal was 100,000. We've got a little, basically 5.5 hundred grand there, or a little bit over that now, and so they've funded, and they're on their way, and they've got 2,000 backers there, and you can see some stretch goals have been unlocked as well. If we come down here, you can see it's a 1 to 4 player game. It is cooperative playtime there says about 100 minutes. Yeah, so we'll keep going down. Now, these are the stretch goals unlocked so far, and they call them stretch goals, but a lot of folks are probably more used to calling these like daily unlocks or daily reveals sort of thing. So there hasn't been sort of like a funding goal or these unlocks are not tied to a certain amount of funding being made. They are sort of just basically each day something new gets revealed, and I think some folks are disappointed with that. But also some folks have pointed out that well, if we're worried about this company being a new company and biting off more than it can chew, sometimes when companies get tons more money than they sort of are expecting and have to sort of create all these extra stretch goals and things like that. Although a lot of them are, I guess, pre-planned and stuff. But that sort of creates this like, are they actually going to be able to produce that? Are they going to be able to develop it all in time and that sort of thing as well? If they're sort of inventing new things to put into the game and that sort of thing. So here we go. We have Flint was one of our. I think he was the first. I really love his action pose there. He's like finger in the air, just like running and dynamic there. I don't know how realistic militarily it is, but it looks pretty cool to me. So he was the first one, I think. Then I believe we had Road Pig, and he's a sort of a classic Dreadnok character as well. And there are Dreadnoks. We'll see them later in the as we go down the campaign. But he's like basically another one added to the mix. And as a bad guy, he comes with like an extra mission all sort of detailed around him, sort of specifically around Road Pig. So there's another mission there. I will point out with these missions, I don't think they are, as you can see, the cards themselves, they don't show you any special rules for these guys. So I'm not sure how far along these guys are in development. Although you'd have to imagine if they're sort of daily reveals rather than stretch goals, like they would have known these guys were coming, sort of thing. But this image here at the back where it shows, and it actually, if you get a bit of a closer up a look at that, it's got a little picture of I think Road Pig there, but this actual mission here, which is a bit blurred out when you have a look at the close-up one, this mission is actually the map layout for the first mission, Jungle Secrets. So it looks like they haven't really got this mission ready to go yet, but they're sort of using placeholder sort of art there for the mission, I would imagine, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they haven't got it done, but that's just something I noticed as I was going through that. Then we have Falcon. Talk about these two, the Beret twins. I'm wondering if the next Joe will be Stalker or someone. Someone mentioned Stalker. The other one I can think of is Dusty, and someone else mentioned, I think Dial Tone has Beret as well. We're going to get all like stretch goal Beret Joes, but this is Falcon, Lieutenant Falcon, I believe. And someone in the comments has mentioned, hey, he should have his rank listed there, because I think they always sort of refer to him as Lieutenant Falcon. So on the card, and they did respond saying, yep, they'll look into that. So hopefully for those folks who like the details, that should be Lieutenant Falcon when that comes around. So he's a cool one. I like his pose as well. And then we've got Big Boa. He was a fun one as well. We've got Croc Master, and now we've got Big Boa, the two guys, muscly dudes with the funny masks and stuff. So he's got the boxing gloves. Again, he's got a mission tied to him as well. So yeah, and we had, as we saw, I might just scroll up just quickly. You probably can't see this very well, but we've got the Crocodile and Timber have been announced as the latest one that's just been released, and they're going to be models rather than tokens now. We'll get into a little bit more detail with that as we go through, but let's now have a look at the campaign. So we've got G.I. Joe Operation Cobra, and this is the sort of what you see with the core set. This is what you're looking at. They have mentioned as well with all these figures, people have been asking for different color figures, at least for the Joes. They've said that's not currently the plan at the moment, but you never know. But yeah, so the plan is at the moment all the figures, Joes and Cobra Forces, will be the same gray color. All right, prepare your team and recruit in G.I. Joe Operation Cobra, the ultimate tactical board game. So let's have a look. We've got 2 pledge levels. There is the private level, so that's $125. You can get stretch pay as well, and that includes the base game, the core set, plus the stretch goals box. So then you've got the sergeant level, and these are the only two sort of levels you can back at the moment. The sergeant is $255, and I'm assuming this is all US dollars. It has 3 expansions plus the stretch goals as well as the core set. So that's 3. So, and the 3 expansions are Cobra's Finest, Enter the Ninjas, and Dreadnoks, Chaos and Mayhem. So that is what you can get, but there are other expansions as well. So there's no true all-in pledge at the moment. There are, I think, at least 2 other sort of major expansions, plus bits and pieces and add-ons and stuff. So if you were looking to get everything, this 255 would be where you would start, and then you'd add those extra expansions. But that isn't to say that there won't be an all-in pledge maybe later on revealed, maybe with other expansions revealed down the track. And they have, I believe, in the comments, I do want to say that they did say something about someone asked about an all-in pledge, and they said something like, keep your eyes peeled, or surprises will be coming up. So yeah, so that's just take that for what it's worth. There will be a box for all the stretch goal stuff, so there you go. And we'll go past this little promo thing here. Why back now? They go through, get more at a great price. They say enjoy exclusive content and pay with installment with stretch pay. A little bit more info on stretch pay. You guys can check that out for yourselves. But here, let's have a look. This is what we're here for. Let's check out the Operation Cobra core box. So this is what comes in the base game. And this is, I was a bit surprised by this because there are only 4 Joes here. So essentially what you see in the tabletop simulator mod that they've shown us so far that we had access to is, apart from like additional, there's a couple extra sort of Cobra, I was going to say Chaos, Cobra villains, and some more of the tiles and things like that. But most of the core stuff that we saw is basically what you get for the core box. There's not really much extra there. So yeah, so Snake Eyes, Duke, Scarlet, and Roadblock are the 4 Joes that come in the core box. And I must say, even though I was like, oh, okay, there's only those 4, I'm happy with those 4 because they were all really fun to play with in the tabletop simulator mod. So that's good news. We've got Cobra Commander, we've got Major Blood, we saw him in the TTS mod. Crocmaster, we also saw him, but we also get Dr. Mindbender, Zartan, and Firefly. So those guys are all included. We have the Cobra Operatives. We've seen all these before too. So there's the Cobra Troopers, Cobra Vipers, Techno Vipers, the Bats, which I think they're like androids, the robot guys, and 1 Cobra Officer. We have people were asking about this before in the preview campaign thing. They were asking how many tiles there were. So here we go. There are 31 tiles in the core set. There are 130 plus tokens, and there are 12 overlays, which I'm guessing are those little tokens that sort of you place down over the top for things like crates and extra terrain and stuff like that. So overlay tiles, 10 doors and templates. We have 15 character cards, 54 loadout cards, 24 signature cards, 77 CAC cards. I think those are the like the AI controlling cards that control the bad guys, and then 14 custom dice, 52-page rulebook, and 12 missions in a campaign dossier. So 12 missions with the base game there. And I do want to say with these numbers as we go through, to save you having to sort of count these up in your head as we're going through, there's a fellow by the name of Scythius, I think, in the comments, who has been doing a daily sort of rundown of the numbers of things like, I think at least the miniatures. I'm not sure if he's doing the tiles as well, but so if you're wanting to sort of keep track of that, there are folks in the comments that are sort of like working together and keeping an eye on that. So that's something to bear in mind. So don't forget to join the comments if you want to sort of join the community there. And we have, here are the models. So there's Duke here, pretty static pose. Some people have sort of said they'd prefer a bit more dynamic pose, but I guess it is what it is. I don't mind him, but I guess if he was more dynamic, I'd probably be happy with that too. We've got Scarlet. We have Snake Eyes. and he's got his twin katana there, and we've got Roadblock with his big machine gun, or whatever the gun that is. Again, lots of folks have said they'd like a more classic sort of big heavy machine gun, but this is what we've got at the moment. And I don't know if we can see it at the moment, but we might come back to Snake Eyes, because there is a retro variant of Snake Eyes that was, I want to say, an early bird offer. So you can still get him even if you've missed out on the early bird, but if you were within, I think, the first 48 hours, he along with Bazooka are sort of like extra sort of gifts. And that, I want to say, I think at least retro Snake Eyes, he's got an Uzi and a sword. He, I think if he doesn't show up in your pledge manager at the moment, I think once the campaign is over and the pledge manager opens up, that's when he'll appear if you're eligible for him. Otherwise, you can add him as an add-on later on as well. We also have, here we go, Cobra Commander, looking very regal there. We've got Major Blood. Zartan, he's ready for a fight. We've got Crocmaster. We have the Cobra Officer there. Now I see this little thing, I can't sort of unsee it, it just looks like a little heart on his head, that guy, but that's kind of cool. We have Dr. Mindbender and Firefly, yeah, he's I quite like him, but I've seen some folks say that they'd prefer him. They don't. I haven't really seen what they said they didn't like about his model. I don't know if it's the pose, that it's not dynamic, or if it's like the outfit that he's in, because I know these are not like the classic old toy sort of uniforms. They're sort of based on, I think, a more modern take on them. But so I don't know if it's like the more modern take on him, or if it's like the pose. I'm not really sure what folks aren't really liking about Firefly. Then we have the Cobra Troopers. You get 8 of those. We have the Vipers, 8 of those. They're pretty cool. I like them. And the bats, I like that the 2 living troops are like really sort of static poses, and then the android has decided to go all out, and it was really overacting there. He's like he's almost like acting like one of the leaders or something. But yeah, we've got the bats here. But they're pretty fun. And then we've got the Techno Vipers, specialist Vipers here, looking pretty scary. And then we've got our tiles and tokens. You can see there's the motorcycle and the what are they called? Not his tanks, but the Fang. Is it a Fang? Cobra Fang helicopter? But yeah, they're all the tiles, and a lot of those we'd be familiar with from the Tabletop Simulator mod as well. We've got our templates. I'm really hoping, I know Bazooka has a flamethrower, but I'm hoping this flamethrower token is indicative that we're going to get either torch or barbecue or something like that. I think that'd be cool. All right, then this is probably my favorite thing about the entire game, is these file card things for your player sheets. So we've got Duke's sheets there. We've got 4 character cards. You get the 11 Cobra character cards, including, so it's like the characters plus the trooper types. You get the loadout cards, which are like the equipment and the special items and things like that. You have the 77 Cobra active. That's what the CAC was. Cobra activation cards. They're the AI cards, and then 34 Cobra loadout cards, and each of the Joes also have their own signature card. So you've got the 20, I think these are maybe generic loadout cards, like generic equipment, and then the characters have their own sort of specialized ones as well. We've got 14 custom dice. So you've got the red, the blue, the green, and the yellow are kind of like most of the sort of action dice, and then these grayish, sort of bluey grayish sort of ones are for defense and for cover. So it's a pretty cool dice system. I really enjoy the dice system in the game, so I'm happy with those. We have the 52-page rulebook there, campaign dossier, and then it goes on to tell you about Snake Eyes. We'll just go through these because you guys have probably seen. I'll just hover over if people want to sort of stop and have a look at those. They can. I must say, she's really fun. This nimble ability here, the brawler agent, is all really fun. The fact that she can, if she gets the advantage, she can heal up heroic stuff. She's got 5 heroic to spend. She's a real fun character. Not very tough. She's only got the 10 health there, but a lot of fun to use her. We've got Duke. He's a good support character. I really like how he gets he can sort of have the others get extra actions and that sort of thing as well. And then we've got Roadblock. I really like him. He may be slow, but he's slow and steady. He can sort of keep moving after firing and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, he's a good one as well. So they're all. I really like how they captured all four of those Joes. Apologies, we didn't really talk about Snake Eyes, did we much? I wasn't going to talk about the characters, but I probably should go back and talk about these. So he was quite cool, although he really shines when you're using the stealth and the hidden sort of rules as well. So he'll be particularly useful in some scenarios, and maybe not necessarily bad, but he might just not be as sort of thematically sort of fun if you're not playing it with at least some hidden sort of things. Although he does have the ability to sort of like just hide, I think, himself in any mission, so that'll make him fun as well. All right, we've got Cobra Commander. And you can see here he's got Glorious Presence, Sacrifice for the Supreme. So we've been sort of waiting to see him. He's got a lot of health there. If you have the advantage with him, while Cobra Commander is in play, Cobra characters receive their versus advantage, even if the die shows a G.I. Joe result. Oh, it says the die as well. And I don't think it's the die. It's like a coin you flip, unless they're changing that. But if the die roll results in a Cobra result, also the Cobra Commander discards 2 damage tokens. Oh man, he heals. Okay, scary. And we've seen also on their dashboards, a lot of the bad guys have things that reference, if Cobra Commander's here, you get this other bonus and stuff. So coupling with that, man, it seems like they have a lot of cool bonuses. If he ends his Cobra characters ending their motivation within 4 or fewer spaces of Cobra Commander gain inspiration, sacrifice for the Supreme. Once per G.I. Joe turn, if the Cobra Commander is successfully attacked, any Cobra squad member whose movement allows them to obstruct line of sight must do so. Oh man, okay, so everyone's throwing themselves in front of him, plus he can heal and he's got 14 health. Nice, but this is my favorite here. Haughty Mockery. All right. If an attack misses the commander, the attacker receives a disorient token. If they have any, they receive a damage token of emotional damage. All right. Well, there you go. I've got to take all the comments on the Kickstart, or no, the Gamefound with a emotional damage now. I got to take things a little less seriously. So that's pretty cool. I like emotional damage. That's gold. All right. So let's see. Major Blood. Alrighty then, we've seen him. So we've seen him in the game. He's pretty cool. He has that ability, Mercenary Resolve, to sort of come back. Even if you take him out once, he can sort of like have a last gasp sort of thing as well. And he's a weapon expert as well. We've got Crocmaster. Now he's pretty fun too. He sort of spawns all these crocodiles, these danger tokens. And yeah, you can sort of infest swamps with them and all that sort of stuff. And a lot of the missions refer to that sort of stuff when he's around as well. But we did see with the reveal of the big crocodile miniature that's one of the stretch goals. You'll be able to have a different version, I think, of Crocmaster, where he has the big crocodile instead. So instead of having these lots of little danger tokens, he has one big crocodile, and that's going to work a little differently. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. And you can see here the crocs. They have like a red attack, plus they can trip you up, and I think that one there is like that little symbol means like clasp on or something like that, so you can sort of get trapped by them. Now Firefly, I haven't really looked at him too much, but he's like a saboteur, I think, or something. Is that right? He's sort of like goes in and blows things up and stuff, I think. There you go, Saboteur's Step. Okay, Master of Explosives. Oh, he never triggers his own traps or suffers any damage or negative effects from his booby traps. So he always looks cool when there's an explosion going off in the background. And he's littered the battlefield with surprises, okay, with danger tokens. Okay, cool. Now, it makes me wonder how you would, I guess, like how would they, if you've got crocodiles and like bombs and stuff, but they're all represented by danger tokens, like does that mean you wouldn't really have these two guys on the same battlefield? I'm not sure how that works, sort of thing, but that's interesting. We'll come down to Dr. Mindbender. He does a lot of disorienting with his neural disruptions. Yeah, so even if he's not like directly in combat with them, he can really mess up the Joes if they get too close to him. We've got Zartan. Zartan's defense rolls for the whole round added extra sort of advantage there. He's got dirty tricks when an enemy character reveals Zartan. Oh, that's right. He can go hidden, so he can run around sort of hiding and stuff like that, and it's hard to reveal him. So that's pretty cool. He disorients you as well. And we've got the troopers, so they're pretty standard, but you can see things like if Cobra Commander's on the board, this unit gains +2 vitality and another effect on their attacks. And they're going to get this all the time and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, they're pretty. Even the lowliest grunts are pretty scary when Cobra Commander's around. Again, the Vipers, if Cobra Commander is on the preparation list for this mission, Vipers permanently gain +1 vitality, movement, and a pip on their attacks. Okay, and then the Techno Viper. Now these guys, I like how these guys actually synergize with the bats, so they can sort of like, I think, enhance the bats. Yeah, so all Cobra bats within 5 spaces in line of sight of 1 or more Techno Vipers receive the following benefits. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And then speaking of the bats, let's have a look at them. So heartless machines, they never suffer penalties for obstructing line of sight. Modular bodies, when they take damage but is not neutralized, it recalibrates, place an inspiration token on it. Oh man. And then I like this one, they've got the self-destruct protocol so they can blow up as well. So that's cool. And then we have the miniatures, so we've seen these already, so we'll sort of just go past these pretty quick. Because I think the main thing we all want to see now is the expansions. And speaking about expansions, I think from most of what I've seen, it's sort of like what I was expecting. It's like, okay, these, when we were talking about in the lead up to this campaign, like what were we going to see? Were we going to see expansions based on like terrain types, like a snow-based expansion and a space-based expansion, underwater expansion, that sort of thing? But then I was thinking, other expansions based on groups like the Dreadnoks and that sort of thing. I was thinking, oh, that'll be what we'll see, and that's kind of what we've sort of seen here. I must admit, I did think that maybe Baroness and Destro would be in the core set, so that's a bit surprising that some of this stuff. Yeah, but anyway, these guys are their own expansion. The other thing about the expansions is there don't seem to be a lot of models in them. So they have these big sort of pictures here, these big boxes, but I don't know how big these boxes are going to be in reality because, yeah, there's not a lot in them in terms of characters and stuff. So we get 2 extra Joes. We get Gung Ho and Rock and Roll. And I'll tell you what, yeah, I'm a little bit like, oh, okay, there's not super. There's not a lot of characters in these expansions, but the ones that they did pick, I'm like, yeah, okay, well, we had to have him and we had to have him and that sort of thing. So I'm pretty happy with the choices. So Gung Ho and Rock and Roll, we get the Baroness and Destro. We also, this is really exciting, we get the Crimson Guards and the Iron Grenadiers. So that's cool. 2 double-sided tiles plus 10 tokens. And then we get the cards and the things we need for these characters over here. We get an expansion rulebook and we get a 5 mission campaign. So there you go. So there's 12 missions in I think the core, and then 5 missions here. The Baroness. So it just gives you a little bit of a rundown there of what these characters are like. Destro being the big arms dealer, he's pretty cool. Baroness is like a espionage, like a spy type character. The Crimson Guard, I think, are like the elite soldiers bodyguard of like the Cobra Commander and that sort of thing. I could be wrong. What does it say? Elite soldiers handpicked. Yep. But the Iron Grenadiers, I like them because they're Destro's like they're his personal troops, so they're not really necessarily aligned to Cobra. They're sort of their own thing, which is cool. Then Gung Ho, I'm super happy with him, and Rock and Roll. We'll have a look at them in a second, but this is the other major thing that each of the expansions seems to give is different types of mechanics, but really each of them is like different types of tokens. So we get high-tech tokens, and we get evil plan tokens. So those are going to be in play with Destro and with Baroness. We get more missions, yeah, and that's what we're looking at. But this is what we're here for. Let's have a look at these guys. The models look pretty cool. They're both sort of trying to outcompete each other with who can stand with the widest stance. But yeah, I like these guys. And then we've got and even Destro's trying to get in on the act there too. He's seen what they're doing. He's like, I can do that too, but I can stand on a rock. So there you go. And then Baroness, probably the most heavily requested model that throughout the whole campaign, people have said we don't like this pose. I guess it's dynamic, but yeah, people, it's a little bit funny. So yeah, people don't seem to like it. These are the Iron Grenadiers. They look like they're trying to emulate Destro themselves. Everyone's standing there like, quick, the boss is standing on a rock. Let's do it too. So, and then we have the Crimson Guard, a little bit more sedate of a pose there. And this is the other thing we wanted to look at was Gung Ho, and we don't really get to see much of Rock and Roll here. It's a little bit sort of lying on its side there, but Gung Ho looks like he'll be a fun one. He's only got 2 heroic resolve, but having played the game, it's this ability here that says at the start of each activation, Gung Ho may discard 1 heroic effort token. So basically, as you spend heroic effort, like you actually sort of like accrue the tokens. So having the tokens is a bad thing. So he gets to discard the heroic effort token, and he can discard another one if he neutralizes an enemy. So if you can sort of keep moving and take out bad guys, and if you need to use a little bit of heroic resolve to get that done, you can sort of like get rid of it as you're going, sort of thing. So that's pretty cool. He also has the ability, if he's got the advantage, to attack while moving. Normally you can only do an interact action in the middle of moving, but he can do it. He can attack, so he can move up a little bit, attack, and then keep moving, which could be quite useful in some situations. And I should just kind of reminds me. Apologies for going off on an aside, but in the latest playthrough video I did, where I just did my own playthrough, just sort of trying to focus on the rules and just work through it quickly to show you guys how the rules worked. I had a turn where I moved. I think I moved one of the characters and interrupted their move with an interact, but I interpreted that the interact still counted as part of the move, so it wasn't its own action. I could do another action afterwards, but I think if you move and interrupt that with an interact and then move again, you've still done 2 actions for the turn. So I think I played that incorrectly in the game. And we can't really see much here of Rock and Roll, but he does seem to have, he's got one ability called no bullets, no problem. So even if all of his ammo runs out, he can still attack with the weapon, but only with yellow dice. So I don't know what he's maybe filling it with rocks or something, or he's swinging it around or something, but that's pretty cool. And he also is a bit of like an inspirational guy, I think, as well, and sort of like I think that's what some of these abilities talk about, sort of like inspiring the others. Yeah, so he's going to be a fun one. I liked him in the comics, like in the early days of the comics. He was kind of like the big heavy machine gunner before Roadblock showed up, and he was a bit of a jerk, but he was also pretty fun, sort of thing as well. So I like that both Roadblock and Rock and Roll are in the game. I think it'd be fun to team them both up. We've got Destro and we've got the Baroness here as well. So she's got all these, like, she's nimble, so she's going to be running around like Scarlet, sort of running diagonally. She can backstab, outsmart, and evade. So it's all the stuff you would imagine there. And then Arms Dealer, so you can imagine he's probably going to he's going to give high tech tokens and stuff to the forces, and make them more powerful with their weapons and that sort of thing as well. I'm guessing that is what that's saying. Then we've got all the cards for them here. You can see the Patriot rifle, so that's pretty cool. Rock and Roll, and then we have some bases here, but this says work in progress, so I don't know if this will be the final, like what you see, but you can see the high tech. No, hold on, I think that's, wait a second, not sure. That looks to me like a high tech token, but then this also looks like a Destro token, and I thought the high tech stuff came with him. So Oh, okay. I realized I'm saying this looks like this and this looks like that, and I'm moving my mouse around, but I don't think you guys can see the mouse on the stream, so apologies for that. But yeah, those two tokens, I'm just not sure what they're for, or maybe the work in progress is referring to the tiles, but you can also see there's a bit of a jet going on here too, so that's cool. All right, and then we've got the Enter the Ninjas expansion. So again, it's got that same sort of thing where there's not a lot of characters, but it's a fun theme. And we did say we were expecting, at least some sort of ninja expansion or something like that as well. So we've got Jinx and Quick Kick. Fantastic choices. Really love Jinx. She was in one of my favorite issues ever, SFX, with her and Storm Shadow. That was a really cool issue. And Quick Kick. Oh, let's pour one out for Quick Kick. Boy, oh boy, what a hero! He went down swinging against those Cobra forces when what was that issue where like a whole bunch of them got nailed by the Saw Viper, and Quick Kick was one of the ones that initially survived, but he was taken out trying to help the others escape as well. So boy, oh boy, I loved Quick Kick. Makes me sad thinking about it. Okay, so we've got, speaking of Storm Shadow, here is Storm Shadow. So at the moment, it looks like you can only play Storm Shadow as a bad guy. So I'm a bit like, oh man, I wish we had the hero Storm Shadow. And I guess it's early days yet. We could still get Storm Shadow as a hero, but at the moment we've only got him as a villain. We've got eight Cobra Red Ninjas. We've got all the cards and things, and you can see here tiles, but two different types of tokens as well. We've got the focus tokens and the poison tokens. Here, though, we only have a 3-mission campaign. So if you're looking to compare, if you're only wanting to get 1 or 2 expansions, obviously a lot of the choice is going to be dictated by what you like, just which characters you like and that sort of thing. But if it's all the same to you and you just want to get one expansion, this one doesn't look like it has as much to offer as the previous one with the Destro and the Baroness. Yeah, so 3 missions. You can see there the poison tokens and the focus tokens. And let's go down here. So here are the models. Quick Kick, really cool. Jinx, I mean, I guess this is what Jinx is like. This is what she wears, I guess. Like, she's not the most exciting model, I guess I would say, but yeah, she looks pretty cool. But I really like Quick Kick here. He's with his big foot in the air, and he's got his nunchucks and stuff. That's really cool. And pretty classic Storm Shadow there as well. He has waited till Destro stepped off the rock and walked away, and now he's trying out his own pose. So that's really excellent. And then these guys look sweet. I like their poses here, the Red Ninjas. And let's have a look now. Unfortunately, here this is blurred out, so we can't really see. And again, this sort of indicates to me, oh, okay, maybe they don't, they know they want to make him and they've got the model, but they haven't sort of finalized the rules for him and that sort of thing. Jinx. We can see she's nimble, so that sort of tracks. And I think this ability up here, I don't know if this is exactly what Quick Kick's going to have, or if this is just a sort of a placeholder thing. But this looks like he's got nimble up the top here too. So you'd imagine all the ninja characters are sort of pretty nimble. And then we have Storm Shadow, and we have the Red Ninjas. He's got Shinobi Tricks, Master of Shadows, and Thirst for Revenge. That's pretty cool to have that, because that was sort of like a big key to his sort of character as well. So when he deals 3 or more damage during attack immediately, oh, what's that now? It does something to the enemy. I'm not sure what that is. Does it injure them or something? I'm not sure. Forget what that symbol means. But he can also, looks like he can do things like inspire himself and that sort of thing. Oh, actually, this is probably stealth, isn't it? When it's just a single thing there. So that Thirst for Revenge, he must sort of buff himself up or something when he does 3 or more damage. All right, so let's keep going down. We have let's see. We've got a couple of cards here. What was this one? The Nunchaku. Oh, it's got Reach. Oh, okay, and Silent. Oh, and you can pull people in with it as well. Oh, that's cool. All right, not bad. And I like the tiles here. They look cool. And then you've got your tokens, and that's that expansion. Now we come down to probably I guess a lot of people, this would be their favorite, the Dreadnoks. I don't know which is all three of these choices are like just um, must-haves for me in terms of like wanting stuff in this game. So I don't know what I would choose as my favorite, but man, look at these contents. We've got Outback, awesome. Beachhead, amazing. Lots of people are asking for him. I was very disappointed to find out that Outback is not actually an Aussie. I think he's from like Montana or something, but he's just called Outback because like he's a survivalist. But yeah, okay. I don't know. They could have called him like what, Rocky Mountains or something, but but yeah, that's cool. Outback, but he's still pretty classic. So Beachhead, we've got Ripper and Buzzer. So we've only got this was interesting. We've got Range Vipers in the which is funny because they're in the Dreadnok set. So I don't remember much about the Range Vipers, but I'm not sure why they would be tied to Dreadnoks. But anyway, they are very cool. I do really like the Range Vipers, and there's some really cool models for them as we'll see. But Ripper and Buzzer, they are they're only two of the Dreadnoks, right? Like we've got Zartan in the base set, but I would have thought that if we're going to get a bunch of Dreadnoks coming in as stretch goals, and forgive me if you know I'm probably not the biggest connoisseur of the Dreadnoks, but there might be fans out there that like oh no, there's there's a reason why Buzzer and Ripper were chosen. But I would have thought that if you're going to have two in this box that represent the Dreadnoks, it would be Zorana and Xandar, the twins, who are like I think Zartan's siblings, right? So I would have thought that makes more sense, and then we get a bunch of them in the stretch goals. But it is what it is. So we've got Buzzer and we've got Ripper. So we've got Weaken tokens and Frighten tokens. So each of these sets, like I said, adds some more tokens that give you different rules and stuff. Here they are. Look at these guys, looking awesome. Outback and Beachhead, very cool. And then we've got Buzzer. And I think Ripper's my favorite out of these guys. Yeah, very sort of bebop and rocksteady. The Dreadnoks, aren't they? And yeah, here they are, the Range Vipers. And I didn't know this about the Range Vipers, but apparently they're sort of like supposed to be sort of survivalists or something as well. I think someone pointed that out in the comics, in the comments, I should say. And we have two Joe character cards. Again, sort of blanked out here. We can see a little bit about Beachhead here, so we can see that he's going to have that he's like a instructor and a leader, so he's going to have that sort of like element to his character. You probably have like pushing the Joes to be their best and that sort of thing. So that's pretty cool. And then we've got the Range Vipers. What does it say there? Does it say Cobra Wilderness Trooper or something? Yeah, there you go. So yeah, they go out and probably operate alone and that sort of thing. So Range Viper is adjacent to any enemy. That enemy must take a muscle check. Okay, so they grapple you from behind and sort of like do like a sneak attack or something. When this icon appears on the Cobra activation card, all Range Viper movement actions this round ignore the additional movement cost imposed by terrain. Okay, so they get through the terrain. All right, there we go. So that is, and then you can see there's like was that like a, I don't know if that's like a swamp or something, or if it's just like supposed to be a place shaded in darkness, but there's some tiles there. And this one again has 3 missions. So it looks like the what's it called, Cobra's Finest, I think, is probably the better value expansion if you're just looking purely at like what you get in terms of playability, I guess. Having 3 missions doesn't quite stack up to the other one, but still, there you go. So now this is where we get interesting. So those are the 3 expansions that you can get if you get that second sort of level pledge, which I think is the Sergeant pledge. But this next one, so this one is not included. You'd have to add it as an add-on at this stage, unless they add a all-in option at the end of the campaign. But lots of you guys were asking for the ability to control Cobra. And a lot of you were asking for the ability to play a skirmish mode against Cobra. And one of you use Cobra and the other use the Joes. And that's exactly what this does. So the Cobra's Revenge expansion allows you to take control of Cobra. Now, what I like about this is I'm not really a fan of competitive games. I don't really like playing dungeon crawls where one person has to be the like the dungeon master. And I get it. There's I'm sure it's a really fun thing to do if you're into that and that sort of stuff, and that's great. But I'm not a big fan of that. So I'm really happy that this ability to control Cobra sort of is like a completely separate mode where you essentially the team of folks using Cobra characters. So that's really cool. I like that. And you basically play against the Joes as bad guys. So they've made a whole so provide special character sheets for every major villain from the core box and previous expansions, giving them unique abilities that allow them to command the battlefield in new ways. So yeah, all the Cobra characters become playable heroes essentially. And then the Cobra forces aren't just causing chaos, they're waging a full-scale war. A brand new Cobra campaign book lets you experience a full narrative. So there's a whole bunch of missions as well. So not only can you play the Cobra forces, but there's actually specific missions designed to make that make sense, sort of thing. So that's cool. And there's a new set of gear cards so instead of being the bad guy gear cards, they're gear cards that work within that. So essentially, they sort of replace all the components. It looks like. Some villains even have access to minions they can recruit. That sounds really cool to bolster their rank. So you can actually have a bit like, I guess, Snake Eyes can have Timber following him around. You can probably have like Vipers and stuff following you around as well, which is cool. So let's have a look at what this includes. So we get Serpentor and Tomax and Xamot, the two twins, which is really cool. There's a lot of twins in G.I. Joe. So that's cool. So they're in here. So, but again, I guess it follows that same thing of like, okay, there's not a lot of actual characters thrown in these expansions, but this one at least adds a whole new sort of game mode or a couple of game modes. So we get 16 Joe troopers. So we get a whole bunch of like Joe operatives and enforcers that become the minions of the Joe things, like so the bad guys you're playing against. So interesting. There's not so there's not going to be as much variety when you play as the Cobra forces in terms of who you're fighting against. Trooper wise, but I imagine you'll be fighting against a lot more individual Joes, like actual characters and stuff. So it'll be like playing against a character heavy missions and stuff. And yeah, we get the 4 double-sided tiles, 30 tokens, and here it lists. This is interesting. It lists 14 character cards for the Cobra forces, 6 GI Joe antagonist cards. So not every GI Joe is going to be like available as a bad guy. So that's interesting as well. I don't know if that will grow. 10 GI Joe loadout cards, 12 Cobra loadout cards, and then 42 Joe, essentially AI cards. It also gives you an expansion rulebook, Take Control of Cobra. That's going to give you all the Cobra missions. Plus, it gives you the skirmish mode. And it says, and 2 high-level missions. So I wonder if that gives you like missions to theme those skirmish battles that you can play. So let's have a look at this. It gives you the antagonist sheets. Yep. Yep. Tomax and Xamot, they sort of work together. Serpentor, he's pretty cool. It'd be good to see a little bit more info in these sorts of write-ups about gameplay wise. Like they're sort of all very descriptive, but like exactly how does this fanatical loyalty work and all that sort of stuff as well. We can sort of work it out from some of these, zooming in on some of these cards here, but for the ones we don't see, it'd be nice to sort of get a bit more info on these, like in updates and that sort of thing as well. And the new skirmish mode. All right, so so brand new skirmish mode where 2 or more, and that's interesting too, where 2 or more players can go head to head in tactical battles with no automated units. So that'd be cool that you can split your forces and maybe have team games. 2 people controlling Joes and two people controlling the Cobra forces or something like that would be fun. Bonus missions, Serpentor's Reign. If that weren't enough, this expansion includes 2 high-level missions designed for the standard campaign mode, where players control Joe and Jojo and Control and Phase. Okay, so it's essentially just 2 normal missions is what that was referring to up here, the 2 high-level missions. But it sounds like they'll be pretty hard. All right. Then we have Cobra's Revenge. The battle takes a whole new turn. Will you command Cobra to victory, or will the Joes manage to strike back? Oh, interesting. Oh, okay. Then we have the villains. So Serpentor, and there's Zamot and Tomax. Tomax has opted for the really sort of over the top pose there. Then here we go. We've got the Joe Troopers. Okay, and then we have the Joe Operatives. I think these guys are. Or are these the Enforcers? Actually, I think these guys are the Operatives, and these guys must be the Enforcers. And we see now. So these are the character cards. So this is playing with Major Blood as a hero essentially. And he this is all blanked out, so we can't really see this, but you can see that they're going to be differentiated in color, so at least you'll be able to tell the difference between your good guy loadout cards and your bad guy ones. And then the same thing with the Joe ones, they're in a different color too, so these are when you use them as bad guys. We've got Scarlet and Roadblock here, but again we can't really make out much of what's happening there. Tactical Assault Rifle, so just new loadout cards there, and the Joe AI things. And then I like this, we've got all the tiles and stuff there. Oh, we've got double high fives over here. That's a cool token. And so we've got the campaign stuff. Now this one here, this is just more, I guess, like I like this expansion actually as well. Not as exciting, I guess, but it's Legions of Cobra. And this is basically just a box of extra Cobra Vipers and things like that, just to give you more variety in your game. So you can swap out, in the loadouts for the missions and things where it says, this mission has Techno Vipers. You could, replace them with Tele Vipers or things like that. So let's have a look. We've got Snow Serpents, we've got Tele Vipers, we've got Retro Cobra Troopers. So and this is cool too. So we've already got the Cobra Troopers, but this is like a variant of the Cobra Troopers, so with completely different rules. So, and I think these ones are more aggressive, I think. So that's pretty cool. And again, it says here you can sort of swap them out, however you like there. And so essentially just gives you more variety with your models too. If you're a collector of the models and painter and that sort of thing, gives you more options here as well. So we've got the Snow Serpents. I would have liked Ice Vipers as well, actually, but anyway. We've got, I suppose it's same old. Another guy who likes standing on rocks here. This is the Tele Viper, I think. And then we've got, these are the Retro Cobra Troopers. And is that it? I think that was it. Yep. Okay, we've got more cards for them. And then for those folks interested, the full rulebook now, at least the most current up-to-date version, is available to download. So it does have more full rules in there beyond some of the basic sort of stealth rules and that sort of thing that was in the TTS mod. So yeah, definitely highly recommend checking this out. And for all the folks saying, oh, we want to know more about the game and we want to know how it plays, this is, yes, all you've got at the moment is my sort of cruddy videos, but this is a place where you can, if you've got the time, you can come and read it and try and get a sense this way of what the rules are like. Not the same as watching a playthrough and stuff, but all the information is here. And then we've got the overview down here. So this just talks about the game itself, how it works, the fact that it's you sort of have the AI cards controlling the troopers, the fact that you have the like the advantage sort of going back and forth and that sort of thing, different modes. And it talks about standalone mode, campaign skirmish, and campaign Cobra. So I think in the current, if you actually go into this book here, I think it actually refers to skirmish mode. Whoops, let's go back here. I think it refers to, where have I gone? Gone too far. This is what we're talking about. I think it refers to the skirmish mode as meaning the standalone mode. So you can play each of the missions in the campaigns just by themselves, or you can play them as campaign. If you do play them by themselves, you get to choose like what difficulty level you want it to be at, and that determines what sort of access to special cards and things you get and that sort of thing as well. So it looks like there's the Cobra campaign, the normal campaign, the PvP mode, skirmish mode, and then the just standalone missions. Players, yes, that just goes through the standalone mission there. Yep, and then we get some more of this sort of stuff. I like that in the campaigns, you have like a little section that shows you like what's the consequences of the battle, and which mission do you go to next, or how many experience points do you get, and all that sort of stuff as well. And there's some more information about the campaign Cobra mode and the skirmish mode. You can play it solo, and they've sort of answered here that I wasn't really sure if I was doing it right in the TTS mod, but when you play solo, you basically have to take at least 2 Joes, but you can choose to try and wield all 3 or 4 of them as well. That's something you can do. They talk about having different dynamic mission environments, and the actions are intuitive there, they say, according to the dice system and the combat cards and all that sort of stuff as well. And we keep going down. Yep. We've seen all this. Stealth system. So here we can see that at least Zartan is going to be a bad guy that accesses that system as well. And yeah, this is a pretty fun thing. In that second battle we played, I really enjoyed the first game where we're running around, running and gunning and stuff like that. But I enjoyed how different this, stealthy games feel as well. So that's a lot of fun. We've got the rewards here. So here you can see again the Operation Cobra Private Pledge, which is just the core set and the stretch goals. Then you've got the core set, stretch goals, and 3 of the expansions for the Sergeant Pledge. And here we have the stretch goals, so we can see the ones we looked at. And again, you've got Timber, instead of just being a token now, is a model. And this is the large croc that a Croc Master can wield instead of his tokens. We've got Big Boa, Falcon, Road Pig, and Flint. We've got our add-ons down here. So these are the add-ons. We've got Cobra's Fire. These are the 3 expansions that come in that pledge level. Then these are the 2 expansions that are not included. So you would have to add these, and you can see the prices there, unless they make an all-in. Then we've also got Retro Snake Eyes, and he has different rules to regular Snake Eyes, so it's not just a different model. So you can, if you missed out on the early bird pledge, you can add him for $7 there. Same with Bazooka. I think he was available if you followed the campaign early. And I think he already shows up. If you did follow the campaign early, I think he shows up in your your basket or whatever at the moment. But don't take my word for it. Maybe just double check that. But yeah, otherwise you can get him for $7. But I also believe if you did the early bird pledge, I think they said something where they changed what they were saying, and I think he may also be available. I think you get both of them if you did the early bird pledge, but I'm not sure. So don't take that as gospel. You can get a neoprene playmat, which is just for your player area. It's not a playmat for the whole game. So essentially, this is where you put your file card down. These little spots here are for your loadout cards, and then this sort of stuff just looks like it's extra sort of space for things like tokens and things like that. And then you can also get a set of 4 of those if you're planning on having 4 players around the table using those. And if you click on the links, there's description of the size too, so you can sort of see how big that's going to be for your table. You can get a couple of different sort of foldable dice tray things here, a Joe one or a Cobra one. Plus, they've got the language packs, which will be for Spanish, French, German, and good news for all the Italians that missed out originally and were asking politely for their language to be included. They have been included, so that's cool. So we've got the Italian pack as well. Although I do believe it's what you get is you just get cards and you get these file card things. I don't believe you get I've got to be careful here. I don't think you get the missions like the rule books and stuff. I think you get those as PDFs. So you'll get the physical stuff here of the cards here, but you won't get the rules. The rules will be like a PDF you can print out. And hello to Diversion Architect. Hi, Dave, and hello to Nelly as well. Thanks, guys. And Diversion Architect is saying, where are Cobra supposed to be from? Is their home language included in the fact? I actually don't know. Even reading that first issue, I can't remember if it explains like where they're from. I feel like, I don't know if Cobra Commander is like European or if he's from the States and just not happy at how the US are running things, and decided to make his own terrorist organization. I'm not sure what the deal is with Cobra Commander or where he's from. So I know they have that sort of, they all live in that Springfield or whatever, but yeah, I'm not sure the background there. And then, hello to Jay. Jay is saying there is a lot of backers cancelling their pledges. Yeah, hi Jay. Yes, yeah, and I don't know if you've caught the beginning of this live stream, but I was saying that yeah, there's a lot of concern with this campaign. So do your due diligence and check things out for yourself. You have to make up your mind whether you think that this is a campaign that looks feasible, whether you sort of trust a new time what is it, publisher, I guess you'd call it, in OC Games. And obviously there's a lot of things that have been going on with the campaign. The lack of real YouTubers having access to the prototypes and that sort of stuff, and myself my videos being there, and that's been really unpleasant for myself, sort of thing. All the reaction to my videos and people not really liking them. It is what it is. So that's people can not like it if they want, sort of thing. But certainly the fact that I'm not a professional and that my stuff was the only stuff shown is concerning people. So that's I guess you have to sort of take that into account. Let's have a look. And Jay is saying, sorry, Jay, how do you feel about this new company running the campaign? Well, like I've said before on some of the other channels, like on some of the other videos and stuff, they do seem to be a new company. So I'm sort of, it is a concern that, okay, anytime a new company, you have to sort of make a big game and stuff like this, it's a bit tricky, sort of thing. But I do know, like, one of the things I'm sort of like, I like that doesn't seem like, one of the things that I've been saying with these expansions is there's not a lot of characters in them, right? But I guess that means that they don't have to sort of bite off more than they can chew in terms of what they can produce and that sort of thing. They've got the backing of Hasbro, but again, as folks have pointed out, that doesn't necessarily, Hasbro don't necessarily follow all their things, and they probably just they sign the thing and don't worry about it because they get their cut, sort of thing. But in the what's the word, like the conversation I've had with them, with OC Games, like back and forth, like when they sort of shared the I think it was the second mission with me and that sort of thing, I got the impression that they seemed like passionate guys wanting to make a cool game and wanting to learn from the feedback of what was happening in the videos and that sort of thing as well. So my personal sense is that they're a real company and they're trying to make a good game, and they're trying to make it successful. I also will say that when we made lots of comments in the videos and that sort of thing, they went and made changes to the rules. They went and made changes to the rulebook to make rules more clear. They changed iconography and symbols and things, like when we said, oh, this symbol should be the same symbol as the effect that causes it, and this sort of stuff. They worked on all that sort of stuff. So that sort of encourages me that they're here for the right reasons, and so that's my take on it, sort of thing. But take it with a grain of salt, because obviously they did give me access to the that thing, so I can't say I'm totally unbiased. Like I was happy that they gave me access to that second mission for the tabletop simulator and that sort of thing. So I guess everyone just has to be careful and decide whether they've got because the thing is, it's your money, right? So do you have the money to spend on something that may not be able to be developed if they sort of bite off more than they can chew and they can't do it? That's up to you, sort of thing. But yeah, just I guess be cautious with your money, and I like what they've produced. I really like the look of the game. And the other major thing is I really like the game. Like a lot of people saying this is there's no reviews of this game and there's no there's no real opinions, and it's like, well, excuse me, like, am I not a gamer? Like, okay, I'm not a known name, but like I'm a gamer, so I have an opinion, and all 4 of the different guests I had on my channel are all gamers, and I think they gave really well articulated impressions of the game after each videos. And if folks want to check those out, if they don't like the videos, they can skip straight to the impressions section and find out more about that too, sort of thing. So yeah, sorry, that's my frustrated being sick of being insulted all over the comments for the last 5 days, sort of coming out. But yeah, like I think that's I'm hopeful for this campaign, and yeah, I think it's a good game. So anyway, so sorry, Jay, you got me rambling, but I appreciate the question, because I think a lot of people want to know that, right? Where was your last comment? And sorry, Dave said, have your top characters all been added yet, or do you still have a few holdouts? Oh, I'll get back to that in a second. And thank you, Jay. Jay says, appreciate your thoughts. And then Diversion says, I do really appreciate the responsiveness to feedback. Yeah, that's the thing. Like they've like, I know there's changes people have asked for that haven't been made and that sort of stuff, but there has been a lot of stuff that we've seen that we've noticed they've been responsive to and fixed up. And he also says, I'm risking money again on village attacks because I really hope to actually get it. Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's Gamefound, Kickstarter, all of this stuff. There's risk involved, and be responsible. And I don't want to tell you what to do with your money, sort of thing. So yeah, that sort of thing. But yeah, thank you, Jay. And to talk to Diversion Architect, Dave, your question, what was it about? My favorite characters. Well, I must say I'm pretty happy. Like yeah, I think so. I think like all the classics that are there, like Beachhead, Gung Ho, Outback, as we were going through them there. I can't really, like, I guess I would say Fast Draw is a character that was my first G.I. Joe, so I'd love to see him, but he's not really a big name one. And to be honest, as much as I'd like to see him because he was my first Joe, there's way more like, Dusty and even Crazy Legs and why not Shipwreck, Law and Order, or either Law and Order or Junkyard and Mutt, or even both of them. Yeah, that'd be cool to have like a Joe and their dogs each or something. Those guys would be cool. Wild Bill was pretty cool, but then I'd want like actual helicopters and stuff. So, but I think all the main ones, I think like having Roadblock, Rock and Roll, Gung Ho, Beachhead. I'll go back to what I said before. I'd like to see Storm Shadow as a Joe, because as we looked through the Crazy Legs, I love these. Yeah, fingers crossed for Crazy Legs. Yes, he's like a parachutist guy or something. Storm Shadow, I said, it'd be nice to have him. We could play him as a hero. Technically, we can sort of play him as a hero because we can play him in Cobra mode where we get to control him, but we're still using him as a bad guy. I'd love to have him in the urban camo with his, it's kind of like gray splotches and stuff. And that's the Storm Shadow I remember from my favorite issue of the comics. Like that's the Storm Shadow I'd like to sort of get to use, but yeah, I guess we could homebrew up a Storm Shadow if we only get the villain version too. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Let me just see before I get sidetracked here, because we've pretty much been through most of the campaign here. So let's have a look at. Let me see if I can do this without shutting the entire stream down. Fingers crossed. Okay, hopefully you guys can still. I'll just scroll a bit further down just to see what we've got here. So if you are a retailer, I don't know if I'm speaking to any retailers out there, but there is like the option for ordering a retailer pledge, but it looks like you sort of need to sort of contact them to sort of work it out specifically for your needs. Now, okay, here we're going into a dicey territory here. So, all right, so we've got, this is a news channel or something like that, or board game news thingy, which is pretty cool. And so it's not in English, I don't think, but it basically features the game in there. That's pretty cool. So if you are able to watch that and understand it, or maybe watch it with subtitles, that's probably got some interesting information. Now down here we have these videos, these playthroughs, and well, look, at least I could cross the thing off my bucket list and say that I've been featured on a Gamefound or a crowdfunding campaign. Life goals. That's pretty cool. But yeah, apologies to all the folks that hated these. They weren't really designed to be professional showcases of the game. I didn't expect these to be on the Gamefound page, especially not the only ones too. Like I thought there'd be some more professional videos and stuff, but because these are the only two that are shown, yeah, a lot of people have been very unhappy with that. I will point out though that there is a third and a fourth mission. The third one is a made-up mission, but we played that one as well. I thought that was pretty fun. And in all three of these videos, like I said before, there are and thank you, thanks to Version. But yeah, in all three videos, each member of the person that played the game gives their thoughts and their impressions and that sort of thing. So for folks who are looking to get some insight into the game, it's there. There is that. It's there, and I think yourself, Dave. I think Nelly, you, and Andrew, and Derek, and Derek from Kanji Studios, by the way, is a professional YouTuber and very good at it, and he had some really good thoughts as well. But I think all of you guys had similar and different takes. Like, so we had things that we agreed on. We had things that we sort of were coming from different experiences and different opinions and that sort of thing. So I think there's a good range of opinions there, and it's frustrating to me that people are basically sort of lots of comments saying there are no reviews at all, sort of thing. And I would just say, instead of dismissing the videos because of maybe you don't like the banter and the chatter and the fact that I ramble, please check out the impressions, because that at least is going to give you something until the professional videos show up. And the fourth video I'd also want to point out is a solo mission. I played it just by myself. I heard all the comments from people even before the campaign started. I know people were still complaining about my videos, but I filmed one just by myself, and I tried to play through it as sort of smoothly as I could, and just sort of talk through my moves and what I was thinking and how the rules worked with that. So there is actually a playthrough that is designed to take you through the rules and not be rambly ish. And that's the fourth video for Operation Cobra on my channel. So if you are looking for that, please check that out. If you don't like it, again, that's cool. But for all those people saying that there's nothing out there, I just wish you would not discount my voice, because I think, yes, I'm not professional, but hey, I've got an opinion and I've got a video here, and so that's what it is. So anyway, again, I didn't want this video to be about that, so apologies. So yeah, I think let's keep going down. Now we've got the tabletop simulator, so that you can still get access to that. And they did early on in the campaign say something about revealing a third mission, but I don't know if that's gone live yet or if that's up or anything like that. But for the folks asking about this company as well, here's a little blurb about them, although people are taking issue with this thing where it says we're a team of seasoned experts. because they're looking them up. They have listed their names and things here, so you can look all this up. But people are saying, oh, we don't see much evidence of what you're doing and stuff. And then, but anyway, so that's all there. So they, people are asking for that, and they've provided that. I think to OC Games, what I would say was maybe, like, I think, and obviously people have been asking for this and that sort of thing, and you guys are making inroads into getting another professional video out there and that sort of stuff. But I would probably recommend talking to those YouTube creators that you're working with, and maybe doing some, or even yourself just in-house doing like a live stream or just a video where you introduce yourselves and talk to the fans and that sort of thing. I think that would go a long way to relieving people's worries and things like that. So I think that would be good. And diversion, sorry, buddy, you were I've got to talk about the art too, which is cool. But let's have a look. So diversion, you said, how hard was it to make and play your own mission? That super promising prospect. I just played through the first mission, but when I did that solo one. But if you're referring to the mission that I think I played it with Derek and Nelly. It wasn't that hard. Basically, I really was inspired by, for folks who are wondering what diversions are asking about there. The third playthrough, if you want to brave it, is a mission that we made up, because in the second mission, Timber was killed by one of Crocmaster's crocodiles in the game, and we were sad about that. Even though we won the game, we lost Timber, and so I thought, wouldn't it be cool if the next mission that we play is like Snake Eyes out for revenge sort of thing. So I designed a mission. I just basically took the double-sided tiles and sort of laid them out how I wanted in the tabletop simulator, and then. And that it wasn't really that hard. I just sort of laid them out in a formation I thought sort of suited the scenario I was trying to create. In my mind, I had this scenario of Snake Eyes and Scarlet having gone on ahead because Snake Eyes wouldn't listen to reason and was bent on revenge, trying to hunt down Crocmaster. So we had him in the middle of a Cobra compound with a bunch of buildings, and he had to go door to door, like kicking down the doors looking for Crocmaster. And then off in the jungle, Duke and Roadblock were sort of like racing from the landing zone, trying to sort of catch up with those guys and sort of rescue them from the trouble they were going to get themselves into. And yeah, it was fun. I just sort of laid out the things. I put little obstacle tokens and things to create a little bit of a hiding spot for Snake Eyes in the middle of the compound. And I just seeded the board with a bunch of bad guys where I thought they should be. We put spots where reinforcements would come in from and that sort of thing. And it wasn't really that hard. We even sort of on the fly I think decided to change up some of the timing. We thought, let's have the bad guys show up at this time instead of a little bit earlier rather than later sort of thing. And it was pretty cool. And all it takes is just deciding, okay, what Cobra forces are going to be in there, what weapon are you going to give to each Cobra force, because normally the missions specify which weapon they have, so you just choose which weapon you want them to have. And it was as easy as that sort of thing. So this game, totally, you could make your own missions. Now, in terms of balancing them and tailoring them to make them a finely balanced mission each time, that's a different story, and that will come with experience of the game and learning it and stuff. But I thought it was pretty fun. It might not have been the hardest mission in the world, but it was pretty fun. And then, sorry, Jay was saying, lots of people saying they were associated with a company called Night Model Games, which has a poor track record. Yeah, and that's that whole thing of like they're asking where they come from and who they are and that sort of stuff. And look, I don't have any knowledge about that, and I can't speak to that. And that's why I just say people do your own research and make your own decision about what you think that is. But because I don't want to say one way or the other what that is, because I have no idea, and I think it would be irresponsible of me to say one way or the other sort of thing, because it's nothing I have any knowledge of. But yeah, definitely, and especially for those folks who maybe have had dealings with that company in the past or whatever, like do your research and check it out, sort of thing. It's unfortunate that we sort of have this situation in crowdfunding and stuff where people do get taken advantage of, and you have to be checking things out. And Jay has also said, sorry for being a downer. Oh no, that's okay. I'm a backer. Just really concerned. No, absolutely, yeah, and that me too. Like it's been rough, right? And no, that's all good. Like and look, I'd be lying if I said I haven't been affected. Like I'm been knocked around pretty, like mentally, I'm pretty low sort of thing because of just it's one of those, you got to expect it as a person putting yourself on the internet, but I have not really ever experienced like this amount of like, I get people from time to time coming by my channel and saying, your stuff sucks or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's lame. Okay, that wrecked my day for the day sort of thing. But this was like just comment after comment after comment after comment after comment, like, how terrible you are and stuff. And I'm like, whoa, okay. First of all, that's not what these were made for. And second of all, like, man, I'm just a fan. I was just trying to help the community, making some videos to get some excitement going. And anyway, so sorry, but no, Jay, like for the folks who are actually just concerned about the legitimacy of the campaign and that sort of stuff, like, yeah, definitely, like, legitimate concerns, ask your question. That's why I say to OC Games, hey guys, like maybe film a intro video or film or do a live stream or something where you introduce yourselves and chat to the folks and answer some of the concerns and stuff. That'd be my advice, because I really want to see them succeed. And yeah, I guess it must be tough being a pretty small, only 5 guys and stuff, but I think that'd help a lot. And let's have a look. So Jay, coming from Simon primarily, there's a lot of negative chatter. My worst result was the game that delivered nothing from the village attack. Yeah, I'm still waiting on it. I don't think I'm going to get it. Onimaru and Manchukuo. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, every once in a while they'll come up with a message saying, "Hey, look, we may get the game, but I don't think we're going to get it." And the safest option is, of course, to wait for it to be delivered. Yep, that's a good point. And then just pay it on eBay and that sort of thing. Yep. So that's and I think a lot of people are sort of saying that that's what they're opting for and stuff. But I really hope it's successful. I really hope they can pull it off. I'm excited. So we'll see, sort of thing. So, but let's have a look at some art here for folks wanting to know. And sorry for folks who were just here, just wanted to see some more about the campaign. Apologies if I've wallowed a bit too much. But it is what it is. So the project. So we've got some art here. So they talk about how they sort of got the license and then they've been working with their artists and exploring the different poses and stuff. And I think this is also part of, like a lot of people complain about the Baroness's poses and things like that. But I think, I don't know, and definitely it's worth giving you feedback, and maybe things will change and things like that. But uh, there are artists and there are people behind the scenes and the team and stuff that put a lot of work and effort into making these models and things like that. And I think they obviously sort of discussed what poses they wanted and dynamicism and all that sort of stuff. And so the Baroness pose, it is what it is. But I think that whoever designed that, the artist, liked what they were doing, and that's just their artistic expression. But yeah. And then we can see here 35. I don't really, there's a lot of questions about the size of them and if they're going to be compatible with other games and stuff like that. I don't really know much about all that sort of stuff, but there you can see, if you're interested, sort of compared to some other models. I think this is like a zombie side model over here on the far left, and then you've got a Space Marine, stuff like that. So you've got Duke in the middle. Yep, let's have a look. And then, Dread Duck. Wonder if Dreadduck 2.0. I wonder if Dreadduck is a Dreadnok fan. Figure models look like the ones from Renegade Games RPG figures. Oh, that's interesting. The figure models look like the ones from. Curious if you have seen any of those. Oh no, sorry. I'm a big fan of G.I. Joe from back in the day, but I haven't really been following anything recently. So all this like classified stuff. I didn't even know that G.I. Joe was IDW. I in my mind it was still Marvel and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I haven't really been having my finger on the pulse of the Joe world recently, sort of thing. So yeah, no, sorry. I did actually buy the what was it, um, the card game, the deck building game by Renegade Games. That was a lot of fun. I liked the vehicles in that, how you could like load up your Joes, and so it was like a deck builder, but to play your cards, you kind of and send them on missions. You had to put them in a vehicle first and all that. So that was like really cool. I liked that. So that was a cool game. Um, yeah, but I haven't seen the role play stuff or anything like that. I am just a little my own plug. I am making a whole range of GI Joe United fan made stuff. We've got about 6 heroes and 5 villains, a whole bunch of game modes, and models are being made by Big Head Chibis. That's cool. But yeah, that's only if you like your Marvel United stuff. And let's have a look. Shipping. This might be interesting for folks. All prices are in US dollars, as you know, as I guess you would imagine. So there you go. Bingo, bango. There we go, friendly shipping to those places. I did notice there's some places I would have thought they would ship to that they're not at the moment. So places like Japan and stuff like that. So they're not shipping to as many places as I would normally expect. So that's just something to bear in mind. Make sure you double check that your region is in the thingy. We've got refunds and cancellations. This is all this sort of stuff, the legal stuff. And there you go. So I'll scoot it on back so it's more interesting stuff to look at. Let's go back. Oh, hope this is not giving anyone vertigo or anything. Let's go back up to just back up to the top, just so you can see some pretty pictures while we say goodbye, sort of thing. Whoa. There we go. So this will probably just scroll in the background. So let's see if I click on this. Yep, there we go. So yeah, well, anyway, thank you very much, guys. I hope that's given you a bit of insight into what's in the campaign. Apologies for going off on a bit of a tangent, but thank you though to the folks that were asking the questions and things like that. So I guess it's this is a live stream, so I'm here to be talking to you guys and that sort of thing. So, but yeah, no, and I should also say thank you to the folks that reached out in the campaign as well. That it basically sort of said that they weren't. It wasn't personal. It was just that they were concerned about. They wanted more, and I get it. Like it's not like they're saying we want known YouTubers because you're crap. I mean, it's sort of half that, but they want this. They want to know that this campaign is going to be successful. They want to know, normally a campaign that's going to run successfully will have professional YouTubers lined up and all that sort of stuff. And obviously my stuff was not that, and so that was a big red flag for folks. And that's that made me feel terrible that lots of people were saying we're going to cancel because of these videos and stuff. And I'm like, oh no, but it is what it is, right? So OC Games, I think, need to get some good YouTubers and some and chat to the community like face to face or something, or yeah, that sort of thing. But I wish them well, wish them luck. Thank you to them for putting my videos on your Gamefound thing. That's like oh cool, that's happened now, sort of thing. And thank you for sharing my videos on their social media and that sort of stuff. And I just hope everyone, backers and company, can have a happy ending with this. And I'd be not telling the truth if I didn't say that okay, there's definitely concerns out there amongst the community and that sort of thing. But I hope it all comes together for everyone. So yeah, and let's have a look. So Nelly is saying, isn't it good, guys? I'm remembering to actually highlight your comments. This is like a step up in professionalism. See, I'm learning. There's a big difference between a 10-15 minute video explaining the game and a 2-hour live stream of friends playing the game. Yeah, that's right. And that's what I was trying to show. Like my channel, my idea in my head of like what I want to do with my live streams is I watch a lot of channels like Rob's Gaming Table and Kanji Studios, where Derek's from, and that sort of thing, and they do these big playthroughs, but they've generated a big community of people, and they just chat with them as they're playing, and it just makes everyone feel like they're welcome at the table and that sort of stuff. And that's kind of what I want to do with these live streams. And although they do a better job of also showing off the stuff, but still, that was my idea. That's what I wanted to do. And it was more about just hanging out and playing a game rather than specifically showing, with intent to show the rules. But that's what that fourth video is supposed to do. So it's only an hour long as opposed to the 3 and 4 hour ones, whatever they are. So yeah, so that's that. And then Jay says sometimes small YouTubes are more honest and objective than the big name ones. You do you. Hey, thank you. And look, yeah, like yeah, it is what it is. There's some folks on there that I'm just not going to be their cup of tea or whatever, and that's fine. I just wish they would stop, like, every day making more comments, attacking my stuff. I don't know, but it is. But then again, it's like, well, I put my stuff up. Who am I to say you're not allowed to attack my stuff? It's their opinion on the stuff, but it just, yeah, it's mentally taxing. That's all. But yep, and that little thing means up this or something. And then Dreadnoks says, I've watched one of your videos. I just stumbled on the campaign 3 days ago. Oh, okay. Oh, well, you might have missed some of the oh no, you wouldn't have. There's still negative stuff going on, but I was going to say you might have missed a lot of the negative stuff. But stumbled on the campaign 3 days ago. I'm on the fence with it. I like the minis, but iffy on the game. Yep, okay. Your videos give a better indication of how it plays. Yeah, if you're iffy on the game, I mean, obviously, I don't know if you've caught some of this stuff I was saying. Definitely, the full rules are now up in terms of, like, at least, they're probably going to be work in progress, but the full rules are up on the Gamefound page. So have a browse through those. And yeah, the videos, hopefully they give you a bit of a sense. I recommend, like, the videos are supposed to show you what it's going to feel like to sit at a table with friends and play it. Like, that's what they're supposed to give you, the vibe of the game. If you want to know more about how the game works and how it flows, I'd recommend maybe watching my fourth video until a proper YouTuber shows up. But the other thing is, if you're iffy on the game, I would check out my videos and just skip to the impressions parts, and because you'll get all the guys and myself, our opinions and feedback for the company, and but also opinions of what we thought, what we liked, what we didn't like, and that sort of thing. And because it's a range of opinions, you might find people that seem like they're going to be more in line with what you're wanting, like, your play style and that sort of thing. So you might find that more useful as well. So I would encourage you to check those out. Yeah, so that's cool. And I don't know if Meeple is a small YouTube after. Well, I don't know. This might be my last one, I think. I don't know if anyone else will put me on their thingy, but yeah, small. Well, hey, I'm almost I've almost made $5 or something on my membership or whatever. Thank you to Dice It Up Gaming, my one and only member. But what's really funny about that is I've discovered that so YouTube don't actually pay you until you make $100. So I've technically had people like Dice It Up Gaming has been donating, like, I think, like $1 or something a month or something to me, which is about $5. But none of the money that he's donated it goes anywhere until I've earned 100. So it's going to be a bit of a slow drip sort of thing. But anyway, that's a little insight into YouTube. But as you can see, I'm not really professional or anything, so that's all good. But I thought that was funny. Yeah, almost hit. We're getting there. We're getting closer to the 1,000. So we may one day get 1,000, and then I can probably retire. Right? That's how that works. You hit 1,000 subscribers, and then you can retire. That's all good. Let's see, where are we at? Nelly says, yeah, Twitch is the same way. Although I think Twitch is $50. There you go. Yes. Well, everyone. Oh, I should say everyone should go and check out. And thank you everyone for watching and everything. I should say everyone should check out Kanji Studios, which Derek from Kanji Studios was one of our featured guests. Definitely check out his stuff. He does great playthroughs, he's a really cool guy. So check him out. Everyone should check out Nelly Nell Gaming. Nelly Nell Gaming, is that the name? I always forget. Is that the name of? Is it Nelly Nell Gaming on Twitch? Is that the name of the Twitch channel? So if you just like to watch and chat with someone who's playing video games instead of board games. Nelly Nell does that. I don't know if you, I don't think you do board games on that channel, do you? But yeah, so check out Nelly's stuff. Check out Andrew Fantasia, who was another one of my guests. He is on a great channel called Digital Charcuterie, which does all sort of pop culture stuff. And he's a big fan of Marvel United and just a super nice guy as well. And I forgot to say, Nelly's a super nice guy. He is also a super nice guy. Oh, and have a look here. He says Twitch and YouTube are both Nelly Nell Gaming. Yes, prepare to be disappointed. Hey, the only way is up, right? The only way is up. If you're the lowest view channel on Twitch, then the only way is up, sort of thing. So that's cool. So yeah, definitely check that out. And Diversion Architect, also super nice guy, and I don't believe he's got a channel, but boy oh boy, do he and Nelly Nell also make some great fan-made content. Mostly I'm aware of their stuff for Marvel United, but I think Diversion has branched into other games and stuff that he makes. I don't know if he just makes them for himself, but he's made a few other little homemade projects and stuff like that. So definitely check out their things. Yeah, it's been a great pleasure working with these guys and gaming with them. So Nelly is not. hold on. Here we go. So I might start doing. Okay, so Nelly doesn't. Yeah, so but you might start doing United stuff. A channel called Maple Monkey has been inspiring me. Awesome. Definitely check that out. And Nelly is not a nice guy. And then speaking of, Apostate. Oh, yes. Okay, so those of you who are in the Marvel United Discord, this is rapidly becoming a bit of a Marvel United video, but in the Marvel United Discord, you will be able to see his latest character for Sentinels of the Multiverse United. Apostate is a villain, and I think he'll probably post that on the CMON United wiki in the homebrew file sections there too. So yeah, check that out as well. Well, thank you very much, guys. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for all the kind words, and thanks for just giving me a space to vent and chat and that sort of thing as well. And a big thanks to Aaron in the comments on YouTube. Again, I mentioned him at the beginning of the video, but thank you, buddy. I was sitting there trying to psych myself up like I was on the first day. I was sitting there sort of shaking, just reading these comments. Like I don't know if you guys saw, I'd set the video up ready to do a live stream, and then like started reading the comments in the Gamefound page, and I was like, oh no, everyone hates me. So like I was just like, I can't do a live stream now. I don't know what I'm going to say. So but I was sort of doing the same thing tonight. I was sitting there trying to get the muster up the courage to sort of press play, because I still get nervous every time I do that. But yeah, thank you to Aaron for, he basically just asked, hey, are you going to do a video? And that was the Kickstarter I needed to, I shouldn't say Kickstarter on this video, but that was the kickstart I needed to press play and have a chat with you guys. So I will probably, again, I probably won't, obviously, because they're only sort of revealing one character a day anyway, sort of thing. So I won't be back like tomorrow or anything doing another one of these, but I will probably say do another one in roughly 5 days or so. And then maybe, so I might sort of do one per 5 days or something and be back at the end. But yeah, good luck to everyone. Like I said, do your research with the thing and decide whether this is something for you to back. I'm super excited with the choices they made for the expansions. I'm super excited they listened to the fans about wanting Cobra stuff. I think that's really cool. I hope they can achieve it. I hope they do well with the campaign, and I really encourage them to do some sort of a live stream or something like that where they can chat to folks and people can get to know the real them, sort of thing. And yeah, all the best to everyone, and yeah, peace out. Me, Bill Monkey out. See you guys.